This is a trade recap for Friday, April 17th, 2026. Number 6 of 10. Yep, number 6 of 10 for One and Done Phase 4. One and Done is an exercise created by my coach and mentor, Pat Mitchell, to help traders build consistency, discipline, grow their accounts, build the experience, and all that good stuff. If you do not have a coach or a mentor and you're new or struggling with day trading, I would highly recommend that you get one. My recommendation for you is to check out Pat Mitchell over at Trick Trades. You can find his website at tricktrades.com for a coach. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's been at this for over a decade now. He proves that day in, day out, live on screen share. And it's really something to kind of actually behold. How he reads price action, the lessons he gives, all of that live in real time every single morning. Now, with that being said, this is an education service, not an alert service. You're here to learn. You're not here to shadow trades or follow alerts. And again, a lot of that shit does not even work, so don't even bother with it. So you can read over the site. There's a ton of information on there. It lets you know exactly what it is, what it's, again, all about. And that if you would like a sampling kind of the information he puts out there, he does have a YouTube page. There are over 1,700 videos on that page. There's an entire vault and library of information. Now, for you to extract all that information, put the pieces together and understand it and put it, into practice, that's going to be quite an undertaking. It'll take you a very long time, a lot of trial and error. So I would highly recommend you can kind of shortcut that by simply just joining the service. And again, getting to where you want to be much, much faster if you're truly trying to become a professional grade trader. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this morning's live recording. All right, so if you are new here and this is your first time, just kind of the way this is all laid out. We only trade SPY and Qs. That's it. Only those two tickers. Up here at top, this is SPY. This is top row. This is bottom row. This is Qs. Now over here on the left, we have our daily charts. And then here in the middle, we have our 1-minute intraday charts. And then I keep my order executions here on the right. This is how I have it laid out. It's similar to most, might be a little bit different. Again, to each their own in that kind of regard. But for the most part, I try to mirror what Pat basically does because he knows what he's doing. What you'll see here on the charts are these blue levels. These are the levels that Pat selects, and he starts the night before generally and refines the morning of for our daily trade plan. He is an absolute master at finding and picking these levels and building these trade plans for us. So it's one of those things where that is the advantage of having a high-level coach who knows exactly what they are doing, because you'll see the proof of that again in how what is their strategy, what is their approach, how they do their trade plans, and all of that. So with that being said, this is about, what do we got? About 15 seconds before the open. So I'll go ahead and hit play. As you can see, we're kind of above this level on SPY. Qs were below this level, kind of went above. So again, and then came back down through. So we're just kind of watching, waiting, and here comes the open. So again, with this extension, we're not really looking for longs. We're looking for shorts where we are in the market. Problem is, so is everyone else. So you got to watch out for things like squeeze because retail will have pretty a weak constitution, so to speak. So again, right there as it popped up, entered into Qs with 1 because where we are going to size way down. May have been a little early on that test. So that's where I kind of would say I want to ding myself a little bit. Should have waited for a healthier retest of that level. But yeah, I mean, it's what I elected to do in the moment. I was prepared for it. And yeah, now we're just going to see what happens. Premium was moving actually very, very nice today. So it's one of those things with that volatility. It doesn't take much to actually get a decent return. So right there, 1 in, 1 out. Gonna kind of wait for that healthier retest to see if I can re-enter the trade. Because that was just a singular contract. We're using 5 to 7 at this point. So again, a full-size starter for me would have been 2. So right now we've gotten a partial in, so a half starter. Again, it reacted. There was an opportunity to pay, so paid on it. Then just kind of waiting to see again, what does it do? We're going to come up and get in that level. Okay, looks like we are. Go ahead, re-enter. You kind of wait and watch what SPY's doing, watch what Q's is doing, what level's being played with. Got to be careful here because SPY can remount. Those yellow lines I drew are kind of different areas of, different technical levels from either pre-market or prior days where, again, it can go to. So if it starts breaking above those, again, it's indicating more strength than necessarily weakness. So watch out. Premium was a little bit more expensive. And that part of that has to do with the volatility. Part of that has to do with what I chose as a strike. So again, I already pulled out that other one. So now again, in and out with 2 contracts total. And then again, so I was saying, just kind of wait and see how this ultimately really starts to set up. So you can see nice follow through there. Could have potentially held that one into that target, but again, trying to keep this pretty close to the vest because of where we are and the squeeze potential on this. But as you can see, worked out beautifully. Now that we've gotten that distance away on Qs, this is going to be where the healthier retest is. So again, it might be that final opportunity, but you got to be real cautious because you can see on SPY, it's kind of coming up and starting to break through those yellow levels where it's like, okay, maybe be cautious about that one. So I go ahead and do a third single contract entry as it kind of comes up into that level where it was messing around with and had some issues. It can still come higher, and it probably will simply because of where SPY is doing, where it is and what it's doing. And it's also below that level. So again, was below resistance, came up, tested that resistance, came back, tested a level of support. Now it's going to come back up and test a level of resistance. Again, the order of operations that Pat talks to us about, again, basically weekly. And once you kind of start putting these pieces together, this actually becomes, doesn't want to say it becomes easy, but it becomes easier, especially when you're still learning this. So it's going to be real patient with this one. Got to get zoomed in. Not going to really let it. Again, nice kind of snap down there. Let's see if it, again, breaks through that level a little bit more. Because ultimately, you got to throw that little yellow level on there. Just got to keep track of it. And just kind of wait and see. Try to be as patient. Starts coming down. Now testing it, see what it wants to do. SPY is testing that lower yellow level. So we can get that snap through. It'll be, again, a nice trade. Or a nice way to end the trading day. Still playing with it. Starting to come back up. So it's getting kind of like a little rounding effect. So something to be cautious about. You can also see kind of that inverse head and shoulders pattern kind of emerging in the price action. Pat pointed that out on Qs. So it's just, again, things to just watch out for. SPY's holding that level. Or coming back up. So it's like, okay, you might actually get stopped out on this one, which is fine. But then you get a nice snap down. Get a little bit of volatility. You can kind of see that the way the premium's kind of jumping around a little bit. Now back in that level. So again, may not be over yet. So again, here we go. Testing the level again. It's one of those things where it keeps testing these levels. One thing, like it shouldn't have to test that many times. And if it does, then that usually is an indication that, again, maybe it is weaker potentially. But again, you got to watch because, again, does it keep getting sucked up at that level? Is there any kind of games that are being played? Just little things you got, like little checklists, little things to just, keep in mind. If you can't identify what those things are at this point, in terms of because of your experience level with this stuff, that's good. It all comes in time as you get exposed to these things. But again, as you can see, we're getting that flicker and kind of flash down a little bit on both SPY and Qs. So it's kind of feeling like it doesn't really like being up here, which makes sense considering we have a pretty gnarly run up over the past couple weeks without any real significant pullbacks. So it starts coming up again. Again, is it going to just keep retesting and bouncing in between these two levels? Like, yeah, it's very possible. But again, at some point in time, it will pick a direction. You either get stopped out or you get follow through and you pay yourself. So you just got to be patient in the trades, be disciplined, keep your emotions under control, just relax, chill out. And that's really all there is to it. So as you can see, again, right back in a level for the third time on cues, and then kind of see, okay, what's going to happen here? Are we actually going to break over? Because usually that third test is like, decision time. Is there a trend, kind of getting in the apex of a trend on both SPY and Q? So again, where we go from there, it's like, okay, time to decide. And it decides, not really. So just kind of waiting to see, kind of let this play, and there, sold the last one. In with 3, out with 3. And yeah, had a little bit more meat on the bone. But again, when you have those kind of reactions, you take that gift. So 3 contracts total traded. The P&L on this one was $109. So again, that's a decent size trade for me, especially with that size. So yeah, again, I'm going to take that, lock it in, and call it a day. So we'll go ahead and close out of that one. Here's the trade entries. And as you can see, in with 1, out with 1, in with 1, out with 1, in with 1, held it, out with 1. Yeah, there was some meat on the bone, but whatever, because again, that's hindsight. So as you can see, kind of just continued, dumped out, actually did hold this level and then came back up and started working its way higher. SPY kind of did the same thing. So it's just one of those things where it's like you take the opportunities and pay yourself where appropriate. Otherwise, if you're just going to be a bag holder, it's like you will have all those, again, whatever gains you had, they'll be taken from you. So again, this is part of what Pat says in terms of trading to trade well. It's like you really got to lock in that process. Otherwise, it's going to be one of those things where it's just, it ain't going to work out for you. And it's, yeah, you will eventually, again, either grind out your account or blow your account up in one of these times. So that's why it's very, again, important to have the structure and the guidance that we get every day at Trick Trades. So I know it sounds like I pumped out a lot, but it's one of those things where it's like, hey, there's a reason for it. It's because it works. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to teach us, and it simply works. So with that being said, most all I got. Like I said, I'll dig myself maybe on that one quick entry in the test of this level right on the opening candle. Other than that, it's like I got nothing really in terms of issues to work on for today, because it's one of those things where it was all pretty good. So with that being said, I hope everyone enjoys their weekend. See you on Monday. Next week's going to be a little different because of the study and everything that's going on. We actually have to do a week of paper trading. So that'll be different. I'll still do recaps as if everything were normal, but I'll obviously, again, denote that yes, we're doing some paper trading for some baseline work. But all in all, good stuff. Yeah, just be careful when trading. Again, markets, when they're at these kind of highs with these kind of behaviors and patterns and price action, again, be smart about it, be intelligent. Again, if you're still trying to learn this, it's like, yeah, again, small things where it can be a difficult market at times, but it's also, again, invaluable experience. So that is more or less all I have. If you're looking for a high-level coach and mentor, again, Pat Mitchell over at Trick Trades is the person you want to be learning from. Other than that, have a great weekend, and we'll catch you next week for the next one. Have a good one.